The movie opens with General Thunderbolt Ross, who was in the 2008 movie The Incredible Hulk, being welcomed on stage. He is also known as Bruce Banner's father-in-law. Today is a big day for him as he is officially becoming the President of the United States. Before giving his speech, he takes some kind of medicine. The new Captain America, Wilson, is watching the news from a bar. He gives a strange smile. However, it seems that General Ross is not very popular because of his impulsive actions and super soldier projects, which could start a new world war. At this time, Wilson is flying somewhere to complete a mission. He lands in a cool way and is now upgraded with more technology than before. He easily defeats all the armed soldiers. He is very skilled with his shield and has wings for protection. Captain America is now almost twice as strong as before. His suit can also unleash a lot of power. After dealing with the guards outside, Captain America goes inside to continue his mission. It looks like a place where extremists operate. The leader kills someone with a knife. When he hears a noise, he tells his soldiers to check it out. He and the prisoners are moved to the back. The shield bursts through the door, and the guards are immediately knocked down. Wilson continues to attack, including his signature aerial spin kick. Suddenly, someone steals Wilson's shield and throws it away. But he can easily handle them without weapons. Wilson's weapons are not something that everyone can use, so even if they are stolen, he doesn't worry about being attacked with his own weapons. After taking care of them, Wilson quickly chases after the prisoners who are being held captive. His drone shoots lasers at the soldiers from behind. After rescuing the prisoners, Wilson has a new problem. He needs to deal with the leader to avoid future problems. The leader sends a large opponent to fight Wilson to buy time. Meanwhile, his drone is chasing some people on motorcycles who are carrying something. Wilson is having trouble because his punches don't faze his opponent. The opponent even smashes Wilson into a table. At the same time, Wilson's teammates stop the motorcycles and take the secret device. Wilson stops playing around with his opponent. He quickly locks his arms and punches him very hard to knock him out. At this time, General Ross is visiting his late wife's grave. Then he receives a phone call informing him that Wilson has completed the mission and retrieved the device. He is meeting with his military friends and his teammate Torres. They quickly return to the training ground to meet Isaiah Bradley, who was forced to have the super soldier serum injected into him in the 1950s. Thanks to the serum, he is also one of the very strong people. Wilson and he often play a game where Wilson has to take 5 pieces of cloth from behind his back. Because Bradley is old, he is slower, but if you get hit by his punch, it is also very difficult. While they are playing, Wilson receives a call from Ross. He invites Wilson and Bradley to a formal ceremony tonight to announce a plan to protect the Earth and honor the new Captain America. Bradley is also worthy to be at this ceremony. In the evening, the 3 of them sit in a luxurious car, holding Ross's invitation letters. The car quickly takes them to the hall, where there are many powerful officials in the government. However, the 3 of them are being watched by cameras. Ross's assistant comes to invite Wilson to the president's private room to meet him. Ross asks everyone to leave so that he can have a private conversation with Wilson. It turns out that Ross wants to form a new Avengers team when he takes office, with Wilson as the new captain as the leader. Ross believes that the world needs such an army. After talking, they go out together. Ross introduces the Prime Minister of Japan to Wilson. The Japanese Prime Minister is likely to become an ally in the formation of the new army, so Ross asks him to think carefully about his proposals. Wilson tells his 2 friends about it. They are sitting in the auditorium to start listening to the new president's speech. Ross tells everyone here that the supernatural powers out there in the universe are beyond human understanding, so he wants to implement a project to develop human physicality, along with the development of science, technology and military to protect peace for the Earth. Wilson will be the first person in the team and lead other superheroes. While Ross is speaking, Bradley suddenly stands up and takes down a guard. Then he pulls out a gun and shoots at Ross. 3 bullets shatter the glass. Fortunately, Wilson stops Bradley's assassination attempt, but he is also thrown aside by him. The president takes the opportunity to escape. Wilson quickly saves the Japanese Prime Minister, preventing a major military conflict. There are many terrorists in this room who are trying to assassinate high-ranking officials. Fortunately, Wilson and his teammates protect everyone in time. At this time, Bradley continues to chase the president, but he fails and jumps out the window to escape. But in the end, he is surrounded by the police. Wilson also quickly chases after him. Bradley suddenly asks Wilson what happened. Maybe he doesn't remember what he just did. However, looking at Wilson's face, Bradley realizes that he has just done something serious. So he has to put his hands behind his head and be arrested. Then Wilson angrily storms into the president's meeting room to demand an explanation. He hopes to save his friend. Wilson often talks to Bradley, so he believes that he did not intentionally do that. He must have been controlled by someone behind the scenes. However, the actions just now are completely difficult to justify, and Bradley will have to face serious charges, so Wilson can only return in helplessness. The next day, he goes to the prison to visit Bradley. Captain wants him to tell all the secrets so that he can help him. At the same time, Torres also checks the security cameras to see if there is anything unusual. Meanwhile, Cap is driving back from the prison. Torres discovers that while at the White House, Bradley was watching his phone very intently. Torres also sees a person who was only watching his phone during the whole process at the White House. The girl in the presidential security team is also reviewing the security camera. She discovers that Bradley was watching his phone earlier and the screen lit up twice. Seems that he was controlled by bad guys from then on. While Wilson is driving home, he encounters Volker. He shoots wildly at the car, then throws a grenade inside, causing the pickup truck to explode. He thinks he has succeeded, so he is off guard and turns back to shoot at the newly arrived police car. Unexpectedly, Wilson attacks from behind and takes his weapon. Volker then uses throwing stars, a knife and a slash at Wilson's body, but he is fine. Suddenly, Volker sneaks his gun inside and shoots Wilson when he is not prepared. He is hit by one of his bullets. Wilson quickly runs into a junkyard, then pours acid into the battery, causing a lot of smoke, and then suddenly attacks with a knife thrown straight into Volker's chest. Finally, he is defeated on the spot. At this time, his phone rings. Wilson answers the phone and the other end is a mysterious person. Then he returns to bandage his wound very calmly, and then he continues to review the camera footage of the incident. At the same time, the girl in the presidential security team named Sabra comes to find the two suspects in the incident just now. Before she can meet them, someone sneaks in as a guard and kills the two suspects. Then he immediately commits suicide to cover up the clues. Sabra is even more certain that someone has intervened in this matter. That night, Wilson and Torres break into a base. The drone is sent ahead to monitor. Then they successfully break the door to enter. This place is like a prison that has not been operating for a long time, but when they open a secret door, they discover a research room. On the board are photos of Bradley. On the table are documents related to Ross and the medicine bottles he is taking. Torres quickly copies all the data in the machine. At this moment, the lights outside turn off, and then a mysterious person appears with glowing eyes. It is Samuel Stearns, the scientist who appeared in the 2008 Hulk movie, during the research process. The antidote for the Hulk. He was injured and infected with the Hulk's blood, which helped him develop superior intelligence. Ross imprisoned Samuel to work for him and research some kind of medicine. Ross promised that when he became president, he would free Samuel, but in the end Ross broke his promise, and the entire assassination plot against the president was Samuel's plan to take revenge on Ross. He has mobilized an army of soldiers to buy time to escape. Fortunately, Sabra came to help them, but when they went outside, Wilson was arrested by the FBI for illegally breaking into a military base. Ross, due to contact with Samuel, may also have been infected with gamma rays. His body quickly changed. Just a light table slap due to anger because his allies did not participate in his project anymore, which caused the hard stone table to crack. When angry, Ross's body always turns red. At this time, Wilson was rescued by the military to avoid being imprisoned. Then suddenly he went to see Volker. It turned out that Volker was also one of the victims of mind control like Bradley, and the mind control device was made by Samuel. With this information, Wilson went to find Ross. He explained that everything Bradley did was completely controlled by Samuel. He also questioned the president why he imprisoned Samuel. Ross could only say that he had a heart condition that no one could cure. Until he met Samuel, he had hope. He concocted a drug that could save Ross, but in return Ross had to give Samuel a laboratory, along with the opportunity to serve the country. However, Ross only saw Samuel as a tool to serve the country. Now the president has to mobilize everyone because Samuel is about to carry out a revenge. But there is a great danger. The pilots in the US planes have been mind-controlled by Samuel. They fired cannons at Japanese ships and planes, intending to incite a great war between the two countries. At this time Wilson and his teammates were forced to destroy the bombs before it could destroy something. In the midst of tension and anger, Ross felt very short of breath. He could not take the medicine because he had dropped it all. More and more Ross's head hurt. It seemed that Samuel's voice was echoing in his head. In the sky, Torres tried to shoot down 2 missiles, but because of the overwhelming destructive power, he broke his wings and fell unconscious into the sea. Fortunately, he was safe. At this time, Samuel carried out his biggest plan, which was to control Ross into Red Hulk to confront Wilson. After Wilson just avoided the last plane from colliding, he went to find his teammate Torres. Fortunately, he was safe. Today, Ross had a presentation in front of the press. At the same time, Samuel came to find Wilson. He announced that he would incite a great war. Wilson thought that no matter what the war, he would stop it, but he said that not all wars Wilson could stop. Samuel even agreed to be arrested because he thought the cards he had painstakingly prepared for many years would destroy this place. He still affirmed that Captain would definitely die. At this time, Ross publicly told the press about what was related to Dr. Samuel Stearns and what he had done to Samuel. The reporter's questions were gradually making Ross feel angry. The bodyguard wanted to take him inside, but it was too late. Ross's hands swelled up, then his legs and his whole body, so he turned into a red giant. Bullets basically could not do anything but made Ross even angrier. In just a few seconds, the whole hall was destroyed. Immediately, Wilson was present in time. But Ross's punch made him use both his shield and wings to not stop it. The energy release system of the wings was damaged, although the shield and wings could hurt Ross. But immediately after that, Wilson was rammed by him straight to the top floor of the White House. The soldiers below continuously fired at Ross. Seeing this, Wilson asked everyone to back away. When Ross used the flagpole to throw at the soldiers, he had to run out to combine the afterburner to catch it. The military plane with 2 6-barreled guns just arrived and fired a series of bullets, but just one throw of the flagpole at the plane caused it to be destroyed. The bullets still fired, causing civilians to almost get affected. The scene here is gradually becoming devastated. Even so, Ross is still aggressive and has no intention of stopping. Wilson has to lure him to a deserted place to avoid danger for civilians. Both quickly went to a forest. Immediately, Ross threw a tree at Wilson. Just after dodging it, he came close and threw Wilson away. At this time, he tried to call for Ross's mind to wake up, but because it was not effective, he had to continue to hold up his shield and fight, although there were more drones with wings. But Red Hulk's strength was too terrible. Wilson could only brace himself to resist. Perhaps the armor with the shield could not resist for long. Wilson used the plane to distract and fly away, but Ross immediately grabbed him. Even the shield that flew unexpectedly was also caught by Ross. He immediately destroyed Wilson's wing system, then grabbed his head, but fortunately he managed to use his helmet to protect himself. But the helmet was also gradually being squeezed. Wilson found an opportunity to kick the iron piece in his stomach, causing Ross to scream in pain. Immediately after that, he quickly escaped. When Ross rushed again, Wilson used his wings to stab straight into his stomach. The energy release system recovered, causing both to shoot away. Ross was crushed by a car, and Wilson was also fortunately unharmed. He gently came to persuade Ross inside to try to control his strength. When Ross saw the falling cherry blossom petals on his hand, he remembered his daughter. Finally, he calmed down to return to human form. Fortunately, the battle ended. Bradley was also declared innocent and released, and Ross was taken to a prison in the ocean, where some members of the Avengers team were previously imprisoned. Here, Ross was able to meet his daughter after many years of separation. And Torres also woke up, so the movie ends here. Please leave one like and subscribe to my channel. See you in the latest videos.